Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena, as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, for that ease and that betterment in your life, that flow, that wonderful flow. Okay, today is an Ask Alena. So the whole thing is a magical nugget. Isn't that fabulous? So I have a question. You know, I'm going to say again, you guys are so cool. You really are. I love the questions that you send me. They're thought. You know, you really are thinking. You're listening to these shows and you're thinking. And I couldn't ask for a better gift. I hope you know that. Because if I can get you thinking in a positive way about, don't destroy it. That doesn't do anybody any good. But if you think in a positive way, okay, what does that mean in my life? Is it possible? How can I do that? Then all of a sudden, incredible questions come. And then we help more listeners when you ask the questions. It's a win-win-win. And for those of you who have questions, you can always go to soulmanifesto.com, and it's info@soulmanifesto.com. You can ask that way. All right? Or if you're driving and you really can't remember all that, then you just text 46862. Again, 46862. And that gets to the radio station. And you can just make sure you put Alena on there. Yeah. Don't put Susie or something because it won't get to me. But if you put Alena, ALENA, at 46862, then guess what? It'll come right to me. And you can ask all the questions you want to ask. Now, I expect a lot of questions for the holiday one that I just did. But here's another wonderful question, okay? It says, Alena, you talk a lot about how to talk to your soul. But how do you actually hear your soul? Interesting. Yes, I do talk about how to connect to your soul and how to hear your soul. And it's an excellent question. And I just thought to myself, well, that's what I do. I mean, that's what I help others to do. Well, I get them to hear the soul. And once you recognize the soul and you start to hear it, that's the number one step. But then what I help people do, and I promise this isn't a promotional thing, but what I really do, I'm a soul healer and nurturer, guys. And they've also say I'm a spiritual curator because I draw on everything to help you. But this is the thing. Once you do that, then, oh my gosh, I guide you into being totally guided by that soul, by that higher self. And that's what the real change really starts to cultivate. That's when you start to have that strength in you, that inner knowing, that calmness in the very lowest part of your abdomen, that in that gut area where the turmoil usually starts. No, it's like so peaceful, so calm. It's incredible because you have that inner knowing, always that inner knowing that I've got this. I can do this. Yeah. And it's the most wonderful feeling in the world. So when you ask this question, which I love, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's a little bit more than I can do in 30 minutes. However, let's give it a shot. I can talk to you about getting to your soul. Now, when you start listening to your soul, you hear your soul. Yes, you do. You do. The thing is, we have a very loud critical mind, you know, and so it demands attention. It's like the spoiled child that sits there and stomps its foot saying, I'm here, and I don't agree with any of this good stuff. But you hear your soul. You hear it when it's that little inkling that is so soft, that knowing that, okay, this is the right road for me. I can feel it but then that critical mind jumps up and says, oh, are you kidding? It's peril. There's so many things down that road that you're going to have to conquer. Are you crazy for wanting to go that way? But then that soul is saying, but this is the way to go. And some of us, they go the other road that the critical mind says it's easy, it's well known, it's well traveled, and the soul just gets quiet. And here's the thing, folks. The soul can only be loud so many times, or even be present. And they can try and try and try. But if you're stuck in that critical mind and you just do what you conform, and you'd be a good boy or girl or man, woman, or whatever, you be, that good person who just does whatever society deems is correct, you're turning off your soul. And you are. Because you have you can't, what is that old saying? You can't serve two masters. Which master are you serving? And the soul is divinity. And it knows what you are here. Your soul's here for three things. I say this, and it is here to experience. It's here to learn something. Why else do you think we come here? We don't come here to just, I don't know, do what we're told, grow old and die. I don't even understand that reasoning. That doesn't even seem plausible. We are here to learn something. We are here to grow, either to correct something or to just learn and experience. And the soul, doesn't matter what avenue you take, the soul will try to learn. Thing is, we got to hear it a little bit. But the critical mind is so loud. And it's also here to create, and of course it's here to learn to love. Actually, the whole evolution is to reach that ultimate love of communal love, that total love of all humanity that the Buddhists talk about, well, everyone talks about. That is the total lesson, and that is the soul reaching its highest level in the universe. So, all right. So let's try to see if we can start recognizing the soul. Well, first of all, let's see if we can hear the soul. One of the best ways I know to start to begin to just tap into that wonderful place. I have a journey that I do. I think it's on YouTube, or it will be very soon. And my YouTube channel is Alena Chapman. And I put some of my journeying, a journey, we've talked about that, is a shamanic journey, is with drums. And I do it guided, and I take you down into your own self, your own beautiful secret garden inside yourself. And there I bring in, or I have you bring in that very comfortable, beautiful, calm place, the voice, or some people see the soul. Some people see this beautiful gold, blue, and white light that comes in. Some people, like me, I hear everything, so I hear the voice. And then you can have a conversation. That's the first thing we do. We start talking to it. We start recognizing it. Kind of cool, huh? I'm always welcome to do that. I always love to do that. That's very important. Now, so you hear your soul. oh my gosh. It's like, no, it's really cool. And then before you know it, sometimes you'll be like, when I first did it, I was driving down the road and I said, are you there, soul? And I heard, yes, of course, Alena. And it's not your imagination, folks. It really is a small voice that has always been wanting to be with you. When we were young, we had that small voice. Man, do you ever watch kids before they're like 3 years old? Sometimes I look at kids and I think, oh my gosh, you are so alive in the soul right now. It's all over. My middle son is a very, very old soul. And I swear when he was born, oh my gosh, I was like, you are something else. That kid his eyes just twinkled. And even from the time the very first time I nursed him, it's like he looked at me with his eyes. It's like, ha ha, I know you want to set me down, but you're not going to. It just had this knowing in him that just made me laugh. You know, the soul is alive. But then what happens is the world is demanding. People are telling us, no, you're not right in your intuition. No, you're not right in your imagination. No, you're not right in what you're trying to create. And we criticize it and we tear it down and we say, this is how it has to be. This is who you have to be. When I was in second grade, my soul told me, Alena, your math is not so hot. I had dyslexia. I couldn't do it. And you'd get me in front of that piece of paper with all those numbers. And what does Alena do? Alena creates characters out of all the numbers. Alena doesn't add or subtract. She doesn't care about that. And division, are you out of your mind? That's so boring. But I can make 5 really come alive. And 7, oh my gosh, 7 was wonderful. So I made up little stories and characters. Okay. So obviously this is a problem, right? Because nothing's getting done. So I found that it was my soul. It just said, hum. And when I hummed, it centered my mind. And all of a sudden, I could still keep my characters, but I was also answering the problems. Unfortunately, the teacher, and I tried to hum so quietly. I'm not one who loves to be a star. I really got really quiet. And the teacher looked at me, and it was a nun. She said, you can't do that. And I said, well, sister, can't you put me in another part of the room or put me out somewhere where I'm not around kids? And she said, no, you have to do it this way. Well, that didn't help. See? So I had to forego a way that my soul told me that worked for me to be like everybody else and where I couldn't be successful. Interesting, isn't it? And yet that's what happens to us all through our life. Yeah, not the exact same story, of course, folks, but you have your own stories. It's conformity. Earl Nightingale said it's the worst thing ever for all humanity. Conformity. We all grow up wanting the same thing. You got to have the good career. You got to be successful. You got to be a leader. You got to have the picket fence thing. You got to get married. Heaven forbid if you don't, when I was growing up. All this have to. And you are serving the master of conformity and society. There's no room for the soul. So first of all, you really got to decide, what are you going to serve more? And then the more you drop the dogmas, you heal the hurt, you get through all the crap in you that believes this so-called false world, then that's the only time that the soul can come alive in you all the time. Because the only one standing between you and your soul is your critical mind, your beliefs, the master of society and what you should do. whatever society says. And that can be school, that can be moms and dads, that can be churches, that can be our belief systems, that can be anything. But if it's louder than what the soul is wanting, then you won't hear it. But I can get you to talk to it for the first time. And then if you're interested, you know what? A wonderful Christmas gift is my book is out. I haven't promoted it yet. I wasn't going to start that until later, but it is out on Amazon. And actually, it's actually perfect. When I wanted to start living by my soul, I actually wrote Hello Soul, because I learned from shamans and teachers, and I mean, everyone was teaching me a certain path into my soul. And I decided to document it. And so I put together Hello Soul. And in Hello Soul, it talks each step, each chapter is a lesson that I had to learn to totally connect with my soul and be led in my life by my soul. And see, I'm not like this crazy mad woman who eats berries and lives in, I don't know, somewhere away from all people, although sometimes that seems very nice. But I can function totally in society. I'm just led by my soul. So, and then if you, and it is a good book in the sense that you're following my story, and I'm brutally honest. You'll see when things are going really well, or when I'm very confused, or I'm not doing so well. But you'll also get ways that you can start that journey yourself. It's a good book. So if you're interested, those of you who do want to learn more about their soul, that is a wonderful way to get started. And it's called Hello Soul, and it's on Amazon. And of course, you know, I'm Alena Chapman. And for those who want a personalized way of getting through this wonderful, it's really not hard. It really isn't. In fact, every step brings you so much closer to, how do I want to say it? It's just to a certain truth. And an easier way of being. And just this, you know what happens? You just get so comfortable with you. You know, you really get comfortable with you. I never have to wear a mask. I'm never somebody else for somebody else. I'm me. I'm my soul. And it's really funny. We always think if someone is living by their soul, or there are these people who have to either be a monk or are very, very serious and quiet and like a master, you know, talking like this. But I find with my soul, the more I'm drawn into it, maybe my soul just likes to have fun. You know, I love fun. I love to laugh. I love to love. I love to create ideas. I love to see people thrive. I really do. I get so happy when I see someone doing something well. I love to see beauty. I love to create beauty where there isn't any. I find my soul just wants to bring more of this into the world everywhere I go. And on the other hand, it loves to teach. It loves. I know my soul just, my gosh, I live for the days that I teach, that I see all of a sudden that person that I'm helping, their eyes get really wide and they go, I get it. And my soul just sings, literally sings. That's what it's about. You know, it's a much better way to live. So is it worth the journey? Ah, yes, totally. Do I miss anything? No. No, I do not. What am I to miss? Am I supposed to miss the arguing? Am I supposed to miss the anxiety? Am I supposed to miss some of the cruelness? Really? No, I don't miss any of that. Living by your soul is so different in some ways. Sure, you can get down. You know, that's when the ego comes in. Or sometimes when we feel like something gets inconquerable, we sometimes then fall into the critical mind and start getting critical on it. And then that's when you have to pull yourself by the lessons you learn out of that into back being with the soul. And then all of a sudden, everything comes so easily. It really is just like that. So if you want to tap in and just hear your soul, look on YouTube. I think I have one shamanic journey. And if you can't find it on YouTube, then contact me at 46862 and just say, Alena, I couldn't find it on YouTube. And we're just getting those out. So I don't know, it might be out or you might be a little early. But if you contact me, gosh, I'll do a session with you. I'll get you to hear your soul. Why not? Because once you hear it, it's like, oh my gosh. And you do realize your soul is you. Actually, your soul is, it's both. It's you and divinity. When my mom was really, really sick, when she was actually passing, and oh my gosh, was it hard. My mom went out kicking and screaming. And it was awful. It took three of us to sort of get some calm in there. And I remember I was driving over to her house thinking of the battle I had ahead for that day. And I asked the universe and I said, why, if we choose, if this contract thing is real, which believe it or not, I don't know. That's something I have not been privy to. I probably could ask. But if this contract thing is true and I chose my mom, why? Why did I choose my mom? I mean, I love her and everything, but I didn't really know if I signed up for this journey, you know? I can't see it. And so all of a sudden I was then there and my mom was horrific and I was sitting on the bed with her trying to calm her down. And all of a sudden everything just went still and my mom stopped the chaotic, crazy screaming. And she was quiet and she looked straight ahead. And then she turned to me and her eyes were totally different. And she said, "This will all end really well." And then we went back to the screaming. And I said to myself, oh my God, that's why I chose my mom. Because in those eyes, I saw this incredible, deep wisdom. I saw her soul. And it was the most beautiful wisdom I've ever witnessed in a person. Interesting, isn't it? That's what being led by your soul is like. It's having that deep wisdom inside you. You have everything you need. You are part of the divine. That's what being in the image of anything is. You have that essence. And when we tap into that, it exceeds all that false emotion of defensiveness, of clever whatever, trying to pull one over. It's wisdom. And it comes with always a higher lesson. So do we owe it to ourselves? With all the improvements we want to do in our life, this should be the foremost. Because once you do this, everything falls in place. This is the true happiness and the contentment and the peacefulness. And I don't think it can be reached any other way, really. So like I said, folks, I hope I answered your question. I gave you more than I think you bargained for. But if you're interested in hearing, just hearing your soul for the first time, yeah, I can help you with that. Or please do look on Alena Chapman YouTube and check it out. And for those of you who want to start yourself growing in that area, pick up a book, Hello Soul. It's on Amazon. We really just got it up there. We haven't done anything with it. So don't look for reviews because you're not going to find any. We haven't done it yet. We're not going to start that till later. But if you would like to get a copy, go for it. And by the way, I'm going to start doing an audiobook for all you wonderful people who want to sit in your cars and listen like I do. And it will be my voice, which should be so interesting. I've never read my own book on a radio. That should be very fun. As always, guys, it's all about the love. It's all about living our lives with that love, that flow, that wisdom that the soul gives us. So it's really worth it for you to take a look and explore that wonderful area of yourself that is so beautiful. As always, I love you all, and I always love to bring spirit in. So, namaste.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.